Welcome to the Leadership Espresso, another episode today with Elizabeth McCourt. She is an author, she's a novelist, a writer, a leadership coach, an athlete. Actually, she's it all in one. So thank you, Elizabeth, for this show, being present. You live in New York.
I do, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm thrilled. I'm very grateful that you take your time. And that we can share your wisdom around female leadership. Now we jump right in there, Elizabeth. My first question is a real easy one. The question would be, what do you bring to this world?
Easy or big, or it is a big question. I would say that I'm always wanting to push the envelope. I'm always a little bit scared, but I do believe that if I try and I can do it, then you can do it too. It is really as simple as that I really enjoy that getting uncomfortable. I think that's why I lived in Germany, as we discussed, and why I work globally and do what I do, because it is not always comfortable. But I love that energy of discomfort, and I try and use that to really connect and be the best that I can be. But it's not easy. It can be scary.
True.
But if I always say, but if I can do it, like I'm not that special. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's why I do a lot of things. I just have a lot of interest, because I go, if you say I can't do it, that might be my biggest motivation to do something.
That sounds pretty much like a sports person.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Kind of.
No, it's all about motivation. And yet, what I sense, there is some strong curiosity behind there. And
yes,
I can also relate to that discomfort and to that being scared, So what would make it a little bit easier for a woman to handle that kind of situation, that discomfort? Is there any qualities in women that makes it more easy for them, or is it similar?
If we think about it in gender, I think one of my biggest strengths is that I do have that curiosity, and I'm truly interested in connection with people naturally. And maybe I think there can be aggressive personalities or not aggressive. I think I was in an industry before I became a coach that was very aggressive, and I always said I can't do it like that. I have to do it my way, which was I was a recruiter and very, very personal. So I listen and I observe, and I sense things. Like I'm intellectual, but I sense connection in myself. And I think that is amount of being able to trust yourself, that if something feels bad, maybe it is bad, but if something feels possible, it probably is possible, and to use that as energetic motivation. And I think it's that understanding of yourself. Maybe it's being curious about yourself. You started with curiosity. So it's curious about what am I sensing? What am I feeling? And using that not as a negative, but using that as motivation.
Now, coming from a more male perspective, we like challenges, have the biggest, the small, or the highest, the fastest, or whatever. This is what we enjoy, being the first. And this has brought us very far on this planet. But I sense for the next stage in business, we need a lot more around cooperating rather than competing. Because the challenges are too big, and we cannot allow to solve the global challenges on a local level,
Yeah.
So what could men learn? And I'm not saying it's a better and worse, women are better than men, but it's more about a feminine energy versus a male energy. So what could a man learn from that energy around connecting, about caring, about cooperating? What is it? Is it something that you can learn, or is it just a gift, or are you born with that, or how can we embrace it together?
And I think, it's interesting, because I was just reading about this, and I wish I had the quote with me, that you would think that if you collaborate, you lose, right? That you don't, like, I want to win the race, and if I collaborate with you, then we both win, so that dilutes it. When we're talking about business, and we have to think of it more in terms of like contribution and innovation, that can I have an idea? And can I work with you and have you be curious to A, make my idea better, or B, in the best way, collaboratively blow up my idea as problematic and then come forge ahead in a new idea. I think this is really, I think you can't think of it as, my idea, best idea, because, if we think about it in the realm of COVID, then that would be a fail. But if you and I collaborate and you say, gosh, that didn't work, let's try this, that we actually both win together. And I think it's not the participation prize, if you will, but it is actually making it better together. And that, I think that is, I'm actually very competitive. So, but I'm not
I rest my case.
Yeah, I'm very competitive, but I'm also, and it's the reason why I do certain sports. I'm not competitive as in I want to beat you up and have you fail. I actually, and believe this in business, I want you to do great, because there's room for both of us. So if you do great, maybe you inspire me to be better. So I think it's sort of changing that mindset of competition. That I believe that in my old job too, that there was absolutely a high amount of competition. And like I said, I'm competitive, but I thought of my competitors as inspiration, not as people who would quash me.
Absolutely. By the way, I interviewed 12 years ago, I interviewed some extreme climbers, German, Bavarian extreme climbers. They hang off the cliffs with one arm without safety stuff. So I talked to them, and they're brothers, and they're competing and they're collaborating at the same time. And they gave me the exact same idea. It's not that I compete against my brother. It is that I pull the best version of myself that may inspire my brother to give his best of his version.
Exactly.
So it's not, it's not that I lose or something. It is that we are all different. We have different gifts. We have different talents. We don't need two versions of Stefan or two versions of Elizabeth.
Exactly.
We need the original. There's a copy is second best. So I really like this idea, and I see it shared globally in top athletes. If you talk to tennis players, right, or whoever, at the top level, they don't see it's a fight against someone. It's a fight with someone.
Yes.
To become a better version. So I like this idea shared, and I think it can be easily transferred into business.
Absolutely. And I would say you learn it really creative. You flex that other side of your brain. Like, what do you learn from that you can apply to business? And you do learn a lot.
What else would make it easier for us men to collaborate from your perspective, from female leadership?
Easier to collaborate. I think, number one, you have to be open to it.
That's
Number one, you've got to be open to it, first of all. And also there's like a threat. People often see is is it a threat? Just because there might be, like we were talking about having more women on boards, and should there just be the quota system? And that doesn't feel great. If you're a quota, you want to be appreciated for what you bring. And I think that sharing expertise and sharing experience and sharing knowledge is, once again, it doesn't giving someone, being generous with your knowledge doesn't actually cheapen your value. It makes you even more valuable. So can we have a culture of not sort of, I'm not going to tell you this because this is mine, and if I tell you this, that it's going to cheapen my value. It's actually going to make you more valuable. So it's a cultural change. It's not just talk. It's an awareness of what are you doing to be collaborative? What are you doing to be generous? What are you doing to coach and teach others and bring them and advocate and bring them along? Or are you a one man or one woman show? Because there is that too. There's the one person show. But that's, like you said, that's not working.
Yeah, exactly. And when I asked you that question, when we started off about what you bring to the table to this world, I understood that you said it's a lot about connecting. Right?
Yes.
So is connecting a female quality, or is it a general quality? And what makes connecting so interesting?
I think it's a good question. I don't know if I can't say it's only a female quality to connect, because of course you and I are connecting via introductions. But I think, for me, I'm very interested in strategy, and I've been sort of thinking about how do I'm become more strategic. It's not a natural quality for me to be quite strategic. And so I've been researching that, because I believe in self-education. So I've been researching strategy, and I determined that building relationships is actually it's an essential part of my strategy, because I am hyper aware of what I can learn from others. And sometimes it makes me feel I might be deficient in some way, and so I'm going to try and learn. But other times I try and, as we were talking about, make it inspire me to do better, or inspire me to learn something, or inspire me to take a risk, or push me to do something that I didn't think I could do, and get uncomfortable and take a risk. So I think for me, this curiosity and this interest in others, I think also makes me aware of my surroundings. And I work with a few clients in hospitality, and I've worked in hospitality myself. And I say, if you're good at your job in hospitality, you see all angles of the room. You see the guest, you see what's not folded, you see this, you see that, you see that. And I think we forget that not everyone sees the world like that. Some people just see one thing. But if you're very aware, when you walk in, you sense that something's wrong over here. You see that something's going on over there. So I think for some, it's not natural. And I would tell you, the people I work with, I have to remind them that most people don't see the world like that. You're different. So you have to have more patience with others. They are not seeing the 50 things that are going wrong. They're only seeing one thing that they need to do. So maybe it is just, and this is male and female. So this is just a different way of looking at things.
I just listened carefully the last 1 or 2 minutes. And I got the senses. I just received a master class on balancing the male and the female energy, or the male and the feminine energy. And if you listen carefully to the audience that we talked to Elizabeth, the last 2 minutes, you would figure out, she said, kind of inspire me, but push me also to be inspired. So pushing is more a male quality. It's a quality that kind of get things done. You focus on one element. You focus on the target. You go for it. You put all the obstacles, you get them away. Inspiration is a feminine quality of opening up, of not wanting to be right because you can't be right and be curious at the same time. So, Elizabeth, that was a masterclass teaching, the last minute.
Thanks.
And I guess I have, and many more had to re-listen those 2-3 minutes carefully, because there's so many details in that picture that balances out those qualities. So we don't need female leaders who become male. We don't need male leaders who become female. We need them to balance out what's missing.
Yes.
And bring it to the table as a package, as a more advanced version. And this is, I guess, the female and male leadership of the future. This is what we need. We need both qualities. So I really appreciate, and this, we haven't designed for that, as you spoke before. It just happened. And I guess we brought it to the table, the two of us, because
together,
we're curious.
Right.
Collaborate. And I really enjoy that because it's not
fun.
scripted. It just happened because we set the intention for that. So, Elizabeth, I want to do a lot more episodes.
I love it. It's been really fun.
But for now, I thank you so much. And again, be inspired. What else? Comments below. And Elizabeth, we'll talk again. Cheers.
Cheers. Have a good one.